Rivers State House of Assembly has ordered that the October 5, 2024 local government election should be conducted in adherence to the rule of law and subsisting judgments that enabled the exercise. It also aligned itself with the position of the executive arm of government and governor of Rivers State, Pro-Fubara, in ensuring that a proper constitution of duly elected political leaderships at the local government level is a reality in the state. The House issued the order during plenary at its regular sitting at the hallowed chamber of the House of Assembly auditorium of the administrative block, Rivers State Government House in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. The Speaker of the House, loyal to the Governor, Right Honorable Victor Okojumbo, said Nigeria is guided by the 1999 Constitution, and as has stipulated in Section 13, all government bodies, officials and private individuals must adhere to and implement the prevailing principles enshrined therein. Okojumbo stated, on the 11th day of July 2024, the Supreme Court in suit number XC/CV/343/2024 delivered a landmark judgment affirming the financial autonomy of Nigeria's 774 local government councils. In that judgment, the Apex Court mandated that at all times there must be a democratically elected local government councils in place, mandating all 36 states to comply. The Speaker also made reference to the judgment delivered by Justice IPC Igwe on the 4th day of September 2024 in the suit number PHC/2696/CS/2024, wherein it declared, 1. Mandating the Rivers State government and the executive governor of Rivers State, whose constitutional duties are enshrined in the Section 7, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution, and in line with the Supreme Court judgment of the 11th day of July 2024, to ensure and make adequate provisions for the conduct of the election into the local government councils of Rivers State. Mandating the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to utilize in their custody the National Register's voter for the year 2023 general election as compiled by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Mandating the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Nigerian Army, and any other security agencies to provide adequate security and ensure the maintenance of peace, law, and order during and after the elections on the 5th day of October 2024. He, however, noted that the Rivers State government, which is deeply rooted in the adherence to the rule of law as enshrined in the Constitution, has kickstarted all mandatory processes towards the conduct of the local government elections as slated for 5th day of October 2024. The Rivers State House of Assembly further orders that the Rivers State government and the executive governor must conduct elections into the local government councils on the 5th day of October 2024 in compliance with the rule of law and judgment of courts, Okojumbo said. Meanwhile, Independent National Electoral Commission has denied providing the voters' register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the upcoming local government elections on October 5. Addressing journalists in Port Harcourt, Rivers State Resident Electoral Commissioner Johnson Alalebo stated that INEC is adhering to a Federal High Court order from Abuja, which has restrained the Commission from releasing the voters' register. Mr. Alalebo explained that while RISEC had made a formal request for the voters' register, the process was not completed before the court order was issued. Our correspondent, Samuel Ajoronwo, reports that Alalebo further revealed that the voters' register is currently under the custody of INEC's ICT department of the Commission. Let me start with you, Ambassador Ekie. What is your reaction to this story?
Well, I think I see where the Rivers State government, if I will use that word, is trying to do what is needful but not rightly. The issue of conducting the local government election is something that is needed in the state to ensure that we have a democratically elected council. But with what we see and read, that the Independent National Electoral Commission ought to have released the voters register as part of the legal or constitutional requirement according to the Electoral Act. That has not been done by what the INEC is presenting to us. And if that be the case, the big question in my mind is, why the hurriedness? Why the rush? I want to believe that in as much as we need to conduct the local government elections, the processes needs to be followed so that we don't have lapses, we don't have court litigations after the elections, because these are the things that set our democracy backward. These are the things that looks as if we abuse the processes, and when a process is not right, the end can never be right. So I want to commend the governor of Rivers State who so desire the conduct of local government election, but I also want to encourage that the right processes ought to have been followed so that we do not have unnecessary litigations. So I want to also state that the fact that we have court judgment or court orders doesn't make the process right.
Okay.
Because we see in our country where it looks as if whatsoever, of course the court will give you what you prayed for, but unfortunately most of the times these court orders are not generally looked at before a ruling or an order is being made. So it looks as if these are kind of political orders or judgments gotten from the court, and which is causing us a whole lot of headache. Because I believe that those who are judges, those who man our judiciaries, are well informed and competent, if not for political interferences or interest. Because I know that any judge who ought to give court order knows that this is the process according to the Electoral Act. Before you conduct a local government election, you ought to have informed the public at least for 3 months. You ought to have gotten the voters register from INEC. Like INEC said, that there was a formal application for that release of that voters register. But upon their preparation to respond back with that voters register, that there was a court order stopping them from doing that. So I believe if INEC is saying the truth, what the RISEC or the Rivers State government, it's not even Rivers State government anyway, it's RISEC who has the mandate of conducting the election, should have either challenged that court order or set it aside so that they can have no bottleneck in the conduct of this election. So it's a good thing that the governor wants to conduct election, but the processes must be righteous so that we can get righteous leaders as local government chairmen and councillors. All
right. In your opinion, you fault the process,
yes,
not the election. The election is in line with the constitution, but however, the process is faulty, according to you. Now, Nze, there are issues, so many issues in this singular story. Now, Okojombo, on one hand, has come into the picture. Okojombo-led House of Assembly has come into the picture, and they ordered the governor in their statement, because I was quoting his statement. So they ordered the governor to conduct the election, and also in compliance, and also ordered RISEC to do the same. Now the question would be, does Okojombo at this point in time, considering the judgment of the appeal court, have the locus to even hold the plenary? Do they have the locus standing? Do they have the rights? Are they even known to law to come out to make such orders on the government and also on RISEC? That's on one hand. So the Okojombo story, the Okojombo action and plenary is another angle to it. Then INEC on one hand is denying releasing the voter register to RISEC. Now, you recall that the RISEC chairman has said, before now, that he has the voter register, the 2023 voter register, and also the court, the Rivers State High Court, has authenticated, told them to use that register to conduct the elections. INEC has denied giving RISEC that register. What is the implication on the forthcoming local government election? I mean, this statement by INEC. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the position of Okojumbo in this whole issue.
All right. Thank you very much for that simple, I call it simple question. Simple in the sense that for you to be able to clarify yourself and keep yourself going, you have to locate yourself on a plain ground where you can easily gain access to movement. We know that for any functional government to be instituted, we must have the three arms: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Oh. And in Rivers State, the executive is not questionable, the judiciary is not questionable, and there was a crisis in the legislature, and factions came to bear, and we saw one standing against the governor, we saw one standing with the governor, and the governor has chosen to run with the ones that are with him. And it is on that basis that Right Honorable Okojumbo came to stand. And he's now, whether he's known by the law or he's not known by the law, it is the court that would justify that.
A judgment had gone ahead.
A judgment had gone ahead.
An appeal court in this instance.
Yes. And maybe they might take the matter to Supreme Court later.
A judgment has gone ahead. Now,
the judgment, is it not liable to appeal?
When a judgment has been made, you are expected, the respondents are expected to obey the judgment. Okay. And then you can appeal.
Rivers State Assembly, State Assembly, is a hallowed chamber.
You mean the Okojumbo-led?
Rivers State House of Assembly.
As an institution?
Yes, as an institution, it's a hallowed institution.
All right.
And now, they are struggling for the man at the helm of affair. And now, two captains have emerged, one for and one against. Now, the one for, is it for the progress of the people? Remember, I speak from the angle of the masses. Those who may not understand the nitty-gritties of the law, those who may not understand the interpretations of court, those who might not be able to stand out to speak the grammars that are required, but have to judge issues based on how it affects them. Now, the governor is saying, I will conduct an election based on the fact that Supreme Court had ordered that every state should be able to run their local government by duly elected, democratically elected chairmen and councillors. And the governor have come to say, I will do that. And we are seeing people coming from the other angle, from the other faction, questioning that, throwing tantrums and trying to see how they can stop that. And this other group working with the governor, giving him backing in order to ensure that the smooth running of governance in Rivers State is carried out. And they are coming to say, go ahead. And governor is taking their instruction. So for me to say they are not known to law or they are illegal or whatsoever, not at all. If the governor of the state, who knows more, who is being advised by league of advisors, both people from legal luminaries, those who know the best, advising him, and he is recognizing these people, whether it is known to law according to our discussion on this table, it's immaterial. That is number one. So coming to say they mandate or they order the governor to carry out, they are simply carrying out their duties, their legitimate duties as being respected by the governor. Now, coming to INEC saying that they did not give RISEC the voters register, that is one problem we have been having in this country. We have seen people, we have seen institutions come out to tell lies. Now, you see that in the claim of RISEC, or the RISEC chairman, Honorable Justice Adolfo Seneble, retired, and Honorable Johnson, the INEC person in Rivers State. You see the two persons are now saying, I got this thing. This one say you didn't get. This one say I got. This one say you didn't get. Now, the man who said I got said that he got it between July to October last year, 2023. And the man who said he didn't get, he's saying that why they applied. Actually, there was correspondence. And while they were going through the correspondence, the court judgment came. So you now see that either of the two are telling lies. And how can the masses, how can the common man, how can the man walking down the street, how can the market woman in the market, how can they understand this thing? So now RISEC says we got this thing, INEC said we didn't get it. So
RISEC said they got it.
They got it.
Hold on.
And INEC said they didn't give them.
Hold on. RISEC chairman said he had the 2023 voters register. He did not say INEC gave him. There's a difference. He spoke as a man. I have the 2023 voter register. He did not say RISEC has received voter register from INEC. Let's make that clear.
Now, if we are coming to quote him verbatim, remember, we all have choice of words.
No.
But when we use those words.
In this instance, let us follow what he said, because you're talking about a retired justice, not an unlearned person. Someone who has been a judge and understands the implication of statements, even the littlest of words, how it can affect or misrepresent issues. So let's follow with.
So he said he had. Now how he got it is his business until a time come for him to explain.
Okay.
INEC said they didn't give, but you see that in their claim they said that they got this thing last year between July to October, which means if it has taken that time,
he got it, not RISEC got it.
Well, but he's the RISEC chairman, so if he got it as personal property, that is up to him until maybe because I know there is, in fact, the opposing force will eventually go to court after the election.
All right.
Now, when they go to court, court will begin to give interpretations to all these things.
All right.
But one thing is clear. INEC said they didn't give, and RISEC said they had. Now, whichever way they got it, either as a private property, either they got it, he got it as an ordinary Nigerian, a citizen of Nigeria, or he got it as an institution of a RISEC. That one will be interpreted after the election.
All right.
But as it stands now, they have something, they have a document with which to carry out the election. And the court, River State High Court, had given order by PSIUA that they should use that same document. So he now has a kind of legal backing to it. And now the legislature has come to, the legislators have come to say, use that same stuff, conduct an election. So now it will now be subject to litigation when they have finished the election. But for now, I encourage people to follow suit. Let the election be conducted.
Building on what you've said about the voter register in the custody of the RISEC chairman, you said it's a document and they had to go to court, and court ordered them to make use of that. Now, let me say, if you have the voter register in your custody, does it make it a working document, or is it a paper in your hand?
It is a paper and a private property. But
no, hold on. Okay. I'm not done. So now, the RISEC chairman has the voter register not given to him by INEC. According to you, it is a paper. Hold on. It's a paper in his hands. However, if INEC gives RISEC, in this instance, the voter register, it becomes a certified document, a working document backed up by law. Do you see the difference? Now,
of course I do.
Secondly, if the means by which the RISEC chairman received that voter register was authentic, what was the need for the state high court to mandate RISEC chairman to use it? If INEC has actually given the RISEC chairman that voter register, what was the need for it? It's actually a rhetorical question. Chizi, what do you have to say to this entire story?
Well, I was listening to the two guests.
Ambassador Kie and Nze.
No, I was listening to the two guests. You, who is a presenter, has become a guest. And, then and so I was...
My job, Cheesy. No, hold on. Let me correct that. No.
I was
Cheesy,
because you're helping the us.
No, hold on. My job is to ask questions.
And you're asking questions.
And if you, Cheesy, misinforms the public, I will bring you back to order.
All right.
And if in course of your statement I have questions to ask, I will ask you.
Okay.
So go on with your own. Yes.
Firstly, I, as a person, I want to thank my guests, fellow guests, who has made their own input on what. But not reacting, because I have my own opinion on certain things. I just like to take what he just said, Ekie just said.
Okay.
And that is to say that as advocate of the masses, that his interest is of the masses. And I like to say that...
That Nze said that,
yes,
not Ekie.
Oh, no, Nze said that.
Yes.
His interest is of the masses, the same way our interest should be the masses. I'm writing a book I call Right Believing. And what does it mean? I said, if you have to believe rightly, and if you have to believe rightly, you have to be informed rightly. And also, if you are not giving the public the right information, you're not helping the public. It's like saying a doctor who is not certified is giving injection in local places, and they say, okay, no, don't leave him as long as he's going to give injection. So just allow him give injection to the public. So whether he's going to kill the injections and whether there is something that's going to happen to the public, it don't matter, as long as that satisfies the sentiment, of the public. I want to say this. Both INEC and LISEC has not contradicted themselves in all their speeches. Honestly, I can tell you.
Okay.
LISEC has not said they have gotten what's it called? They have gotten documents from INEC, the voter register. I have said it earlier here, on this show, that I have the voters register as a politician. It does not even qualify. You are saying that a certified through document, CTC. No, that document that the man has does not even certify to be document. Not talk about being certified. It's not even qualified to be called a document of INEC. Now, I like to say this. The man came here, the LISEC said, using him now as certification of the LISEC. He said, no, we have. And they also admitted that what they have is 2023. That's why I want to build my foundation. They have 2023 election, assuming again, without conceding, that it was INEC that gave the 2023 election. And I said, even if INEC conducted election, even if INEC is conducting election and there was election, assuming and God forbid, no, why would I say God forbid? If anything happens and SIM is moved now and there's an election to be conducted, I am telling you that INEC will publish a new register. The reason is simple. My daughter just became 18 this year.
All right.
And she has gone to register in INEC. And so the reason why they said 90 days to the release of the timetable, not even the election, 90 days to the release of the timetable, meaning that for the timetable to be even released, meaning that you have to even give them their timetable. That's a process. You don't need a court. You don't need a court to say that. 90 days to the release of the timetable means that you have to forward INEC within your timetable. That's the 90 days. So INEC will not give you. So which of the election were they having last year that they collected the INEC document?
You're preempting me because I wanted to actually...
No. I want to say that.
Now, that was one of the questions I wanted
now,
to
first question is, what was the election that they had last year, that they had 2023 election? And if my experience in INEC, having served in INEC as in my youth service days, when I was younger, Chairman, you weren't born then, but I know then that if my experience then was anything to go by, I know that INEC does not release their document while they are also contesting election. Because there is this caveat in our law that says when two law meet each other, the federal and the state, the state will bow. I'm just using the layman's word. The state law will bow to the INEC. So as soon as there is a national election, INEC will not give you their document because they are still holding national election. And of course, I have said that election is not an event; it's a process. And like my friend has said, that the process, you could be doing something fantastic, but it's either out of timing or the process or the protocols are not followed. That is not right. When the foundation is faulty, the Bible will say, what would the righteous do when the foundation is not faulty? So I'm saying here that, look, they have said they processed that document, and then there is a document, and INEC has come out. INEC did not come out to deny. INEC has come to state a fact. We have not given yet. We are in the process of giving, but the court has stopped us from giving. That means that assuming again that INEC has even given you a document and the court says withdraw document, that means that the INEC withdraws the document. There are people who are given a certificate of return and INEC said give it to another person. I mean, law, the court says give it to another person. INEC is bound by that law, even if your name is there, to give it to another person. But I want to say this on the issue of look at what is happening.
Okay,
if they knew.
Before you go to that, very quickly.
I'm also talking about the election.
Before you go to that, still on what you've said, the statement by INEC saying that RISEC had applied for the voter register and the process was not yet completed and the court order came. Now, the question I want to ask is, you have also rightly said that RISEC must update their voter register 90 days before the release of the timetable. But when you check when this court order came, that particular electoral act, that procedure ought to have been done since. So as at the time RISEC released the timetable, if you are going by INEC statement, as at the time RISEC released the timetable, RISEC has not even written to INEC yet for that RISEC, which means, now the question is RISEC even following due process? Because the statement by INEC actually indicts RISEC if they are following the electoral act as it were.
Okay, I like to cut it off from written. Because they didn't quote the dates they wrote them.
Yes.
I will say received. You know, they have not received from them, or they have not released. If they say they are still in the process, they have not released this document to this. Because that.
So why announce election dates when that has not been done?
It's a flagrant display of rascality by RISEC.
All right.
Now let me tell you, the word RISEC. People think when they talk about RISEC, that is why I said, if RISEC wanted to conduct an election, for instance, do they need a court to ask them to conduct the election? Number one, do you need any court to say do that which is between your rights to do? You don't need court. The reason why you went to court is for court to say, no, please use 23 election. Voter register to conduct a 2024 election. That means you are going to use that which was not. You know, in that election, people are died. People are not registered, people are defranchised, and some people may have changed their location, and so you want to hold them. Now, up till that time, I do not know where I will vote. And now you are releasing timetable. And even in the timetable they so released, the only thing that I said, they set exam for themselves, they gave 10, assuming it's 10, they gave it 10 questions, you set exam for yourself, and you gave 10 questions, and you have failed in 9. And then even the 10, which is supposed to be the 5th, because the 5th has not come, so we don't know whether they have failed or not. And for what is happening, they already have failed. And then you are saying that, look, we are going to do that. See, what is happening is that including if I'm going to go to court, one of the things that I, as a person, will go to court is to go to court against the media houses who is still calling Ojogo Budumbu speaker. Why on earth will you address him as speaker? See, let's leave sentiment apart. I'd like to ask 2 basic questions. Maybe rhetorical again, and I'm going to provide the answer. Number one is, God forbid, assuming without conceding that all of it, there are 3 ways by which assembly members can get out of his office. 1, by resignation. 2, by death, God forbid. And then 3, by recall. Do you understand? Or court removes them the same way. And then assuming that any of that had happened, and we had 27 of the assembly out of 32, 1 we left, 1 died, 1 resigned, so we have 30. No, it's just remaining 3. The question will be, does the constitution also support those 3 to sit? Assuming there's no inhibition, there's no court issues.
Now let me explain that. Yes, the constitution, according to the judgment in the Supreme Court judgment in the case of Joshua Dariye, it says that they can actually sit, going by Supreme Court judgment. They can sit. They can do hold plenary, do whatever. Even if they decide to gather, sit and drink, they can, because they are lawmakers. However, in matters pertaining to 1/3 majority to 1/3 majority, they cannot legislate.
That is, I'm using the word.
So they can sit.
I'm using the word as a layman. I'm using the word as layman. That means that if in matters of 2/3, that means there are certain laws that they cannot pass.
Are they up to 1/3?
They are not up to 1.
So
it's a 3-man.
You include both 1/3 majority and 2/3 majority. Both 1/3 and 2/3, they cannot legislate.
They cannot legislate. That's what I'm saying. Both 1/3 and 2/3.
But they can actually sit.
They can sit in. Am I not sitting with you? It's that sitting. See, when assembly is sitting, when I'm talking about the sitting of assembly is the fact that they can legislate on issues. If they cannot legislate, the constitution also provides that the National Assembly will bring on somebody who will be sitting until 90 days where this will come. So in that aspect, they've also failed at that, assuming that is not. But in this instance again, our law says they are not guilty until you are proven guilty by a competent law of the court. Now the court has come, the court of first instance, which is the federal court, has said, look, these people are the legitimate people to sit. Then the court of appeal has also told them that.
Be clear on that.
Be clear on that.
No, hold on. When you say these people are who are these people?
Like Martins Amehule, the 27 of them, Martins Amehule.
Right.
The court has declared that Martins Amehule is a substantial speaker and his people, the people.
Federal High Court.
The Federal High Court. And then the court of appeal also has gone to say that no other court has uttered that until such happens. And of course, I don't want to even come to the extent that the duration for that appeal is far gone. Far gone. Yeah. So I don't want to even talk about, assuming that duration has also not gone. What I am saying is that the period at which we are now, they are the one. So what we have is a Rivers State Assembly as led by Honorable Martins Amehule.
Yeah, right.
And they have not said that. So the people that came are friends of the governor who came to say go ahead and do that.
So you're calling Okojombo friends of the governor?
He is a member of the assembly, no doubt about that. But he does not have the right to sit and do that.
All right.
So he's just the friends of the governor who has said that. But again, let me say this. You see, the governor may have the best of intentions.
All right.
He may have the best of intentions, but he has to do it rightly with procedures and protocol. I mean, the man came out, the chairman of the INEC came out last time to tell us that part of the reason why certain guidelines were not met was because of the last protest. That's what he told us. That 10 days ate into his timetable. One would have expected that, he's coming to announce that, look, because of that, we are shifting the election so that we can accommodate all of that. If you don't do that, like I said, election is a process, it's not an event. If you don't follow those procedures, you have not conducted an election.
All right. All right. Ambassador Kia, you wanted to say something.
Yes,
right.
I want to commend my fellow guests and speakers. You know, what I've come to see in our country, Nigeria, and is political decisions being supreme above our constitutions. Political decisions, political desires. The fact that, even if it is a constituted assembly, you don't have the powers to compel a governor to do what is outside the constitution.
Okay.
You don't have the rights, you don't have the mandate to authorize the governor to do things outside the Electoral Act. So whoever that is backing the governor, either the court or assembly, whether known or unknown, is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. The fact that I go to the court and swear affidavit that I'm the governor of Rivers State, and then the court give me that affidavit, does it make me the governor of Rivers State? So sometimes when we quote the court, it doesn't makes it a law. What do you call it? Court orders doesn't make it a law. Sometimes these are just political solutions. Sometimes these are just political decisions that the court is a victim of. That the court makes us become victim of their decisions. I also like to say that most times even the INEC are also a problem to us. Look at our Rivers State Assembly matter. For instance, the current chief of staff is still a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly because no election has been conducted to replace him. Can somebody be a chief of staff and also be?
He officially resigned. The seat is vacant.
That's what I'm saying.
Resigned where?
That's what I'm
who?
saying. If he has resigned, according to Electoral Act, there are specified days of a by-election. So if there was such resignation or such, provisions of the law, I think election ought to have been conducted in that constituency. So there are a lot of political decisions that supersede our Electoral Act and our Constitution, and this should be made, to be addressed Because we are in a democratic nation, and people should not be doing things the way they desire and they like, because you are in government or because you are the government in charge. No. So I'd like to state that what is righteous is righteous. And on the issue of the election, the governor cannot carry out, in fact, on this issue of election, the governor has no business. It's the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Now, they have brought us into this chaos, because if it is their sole responsibility to conduct the election, they were the ones that conducted the last election of the local government chairman whose tenure is expired. They knew when their tenure will expire. And what they ought to have done is, according to this Electoral Act, within these 3 months, the 90 days, begin the process of election. Not waiting for either the governor to give them the mandate or give them the approval. So I think that even for me, I feel that the RISEC is not capable enough to uphold this democracy.
All right.
They are a crisis to our national democracy. And they are a problem to this river state right now, because if the RISEC have done the needful, we wouldn't find ourselves where with this. Do you expect the governor to call you as RISEC chairman on when to conduct election when you know the law? So that's why I said that we are operating on political decisions, political desires against the law.
All right.
So I think that the right thing should be done and must be done if we want a peaceful democracy and a growing democracy.
All right. Now,
that's my submission.
You have spoken about RISEC, handling its job politically, and you spoke about the governor's interference with the affairs of the RISEC.
No, I didn't say
So how did you put it exactly?
I said the RISEC shouldn't wait for the governor to ask them to conduct election.
The RISEC has to be funded.
No, their funding comes from the budget.
Yeah, yes. You see, when we talk about if RISEC, you have to do your work. If the law specifies that 90 days information for the process to begin, reviewing of voters register, collection of voters register from INEC, within that 90 days before you set a day for the election. I don't think if Rivers State government do not have money, because where they will need bulk of money is in the conduct of the election. So 90 days is enough for us as a government to begin to save money for the election.
All right.
So I do not think that RISEC is complaining that they started the process, and then what is making them not to conduct the election was fund. So I feel that they were just lackadaisical, and they wanted to put Rivers State in crisis.
All right. Very well. Nze, you want to say something very quickly before I move
just
to the
very
next
quickly.
story?
We believe that in as much as AK has faulted the process being taken by the RISEC, we also believe that desperate situations requires desperate measure. We see the situation we found ourselves. The Supreme Court came to give this order in July. July to October is 3 months. July to October is 3 months. And as at that time, but not the RISEC, not the local government leadership was prepared. But this issue had come, and now they got that extension by the plea of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they gave that extension of 3 months. And now RISEC began to, just as Ekie said, if RISEC had started their own operation, their own process earlier, it will be all right. But it's like they were waiting for the governor to either approve fund for them, and now when they got fund, they began to do their thing. And most of those issues should be kept aside. Number two, if we say that most of the things that are taking place now are simply political decisions and not really according to the law, to an extent, it is all about the people. If the law in any way going through the law will infringe on the well-being of the people, it is required that law should shift, because no law is rigid.
Law should shift.
Yes, no law is rigid.
How do you shift the law?
by going back to the National Assembly, to the legislature, let them let them look at the law
now,
and make amendment.
So has amendment been made to the lot of
now amendment are not. That is why court is giving interpretations.
All right.
And now that court is doing that, now that court is doing that, we just have to understand that the governor is bound. RISIEC is bound to conduct this election.
All right.
And they have said that no Jupiter will stop them, and I agree with them.
Okay.
No, just one information, please.
No,
for the public.
Okay.
The Supreme Court ruling did not give time frame for this election. So for anybody to be in a hurry to abuse the law because of Supreme Court judgment, I think is not right.
All right.